Good Monday, makers. Hope everybody had a good weekend. My name is Jake, and I'm joined with Dave.
Good Monday makers. How's everybody doing?
Let's check out the builds. First up is a project from Aaron, and he actually posted part one of this a while ago. And he's building a kayak catamaran, I think. He's calling it a quadmaran due to the buoyancy requirements. But if you guys might remember, it was a two kayak, basically catamaran that he was building, where it's going to be two kayaks on the side, and he shared,
Oh,
his
wow.
framework that he was working on. And I think it was a few months back. He said it's taken a lot longer than he expected. He said it's a labor of love. You have to love boat making whenever you want to take on a project like this, just due to all of the buoyancy requirements. He's doing like all kinds of formulas and things to figure out exactly how he can make this happen. And he shared some sketches and kind of some details about everything. So there's the kayaks you can see. It's an 8 foot long hull. I mean, it's a kayak on both sides, and I think there's two bigger ones in the middle, and that's basically how it's going to float. And then it's got the maker pipe frame on the outside, and this is the
Wow.
maker pipe frame. And there's
That's
so
really
many
impressive.
connectors. Yeah.
That's super impressive. I mean, that's it sounds like he's doing some calculations and engineering, some real engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah, for sure. And there's just, I mean, so many connectors there. Adjustable 180s, excuse me, adjustable angles, T connectors, four-way connectors. I mean, it's just loaded with connectors. You can see he's painting it. And it looks like it's some kind of like thick paint, maybe for sealing. Because I would imagine you don't want water to get inside the pipes or connectors at all.
Sure.
So that's probably taking a lot of time as well to, kind of seal everything off. Here's a shot of the frame from overhead, and you can kind of see the opening where the boats are going to go through in the middle. I guess there's going to be one on each side. And then he's putting a platform. He's been cutting plywood. And it's really cool the way he did that with the kind of puzzle piece edges. We like puzzle pieces.
It looks like the gym mat
Oh,
cutouts.
right. Yeah, it does.
Like you're tiling together gym mats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. And so he's cutting that out, and then he's also sealing that, it looks like. And then he's also building some other custom like buoyancy things that are going to have to be attached, and sealing all those. And I mean, he's just building a lot of things
Yeah,
for
this is
this.
amazing.
Yeah, it's quite the project. Really awesome, and it's really cool that he's using conduit and maker pipe for this.
You know what I think is really cool? I love that he used a lot of triangles and made it sort of truss like. I mean, just look at all the triangles in there, and that just adds a ton of rigidity, really makes it a good platform. But that kind of structure, even though it's a lot of connectors, I know you could do that. I mean, that's how bridges, roofs, spans, trusses, all that stuff uses triangulation, and I love seeing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's really awesome. I mean, yeah, as Dave was saying, you can make all kinds of reinforced structures with
Oh yeah.
triangles. Oh, he actually commented and said, in case we talked about it on the live stream, he added two more photos. So it looks like he's actually made some attachments, as you can see, the boats to the frame.
Oh, awesome.
He's,
Okay, and those are the blocks,
mm-hmm,
because that's a challenge. I mean, a kayak or a boat hull, it's got that curvature to it, right? So, how do you connect it in a
right,
good way?
mm-hmm.
Oh, and then he's got a rib inside to strengthen it at the mounting
Oh,
points.
wow. He's thinking of everything.
Yeah, because you tie down a kayak and it just squishes a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, right? But he's got reinforcement there. He's thinking of a lot. That's great.
Yeah, thanks so much, Aaron, for posting the update and sharing about this. And he's got all kinds of information in here if you're interested in doing something similar. He does have a lot of information, and I think it would be cool to get him on for a customer interview and maybe hear more about it.
Yeah, we'd love to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Next up is another boat project, and this is from Axel. He's a longtime member of the community and posts a lot of great projects. Has an awesome YouTube channel, which I actually think he posted a video as well about this build. And it's a very simple project, but very useful. He added boat guides to the side of his trailer, so whenever you have your boat in the trailer, or your boat in the oh my gosh, your trailer in the water, and you want to load up the boat to make it easier on you if you're trying to line it up perfectly, you can just paddle, or grab the motor, and you want to guide yourself into the boat trailer. And so he made these guides as kind of a guide so you could get the boat on the trailer and lined up properly, which is a really good idea.
Oh my gosh, so helpful.
And he just did it really simply by getting a flange connector, bolting that to the trailer, and then he added a pipe that's kind of a candy cane shape, or I guess not real. Well, kind of, basically just a vertical pipe with a bend on the end that goes probably 90 degrees. I guess it would have to be 90 degrees, and goes into that flange connector, and with a self tapping screw through. Actually, that looks like even a bolt, maybe all the way through to the other side, which is good. Something like this, you definitely want it to be as strong as possible attached to a trailer and going down the road.
But you know what's really cool about this? And Axel has been a longtime member of the community, and he's also given us a lot of great ideas, including the flange, right? Axel really was part of the community that inspired a lot of different flange ideas and led ultimately to us making that part that now he's using on a future build.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's really full circle. And thank you, Axel, for all those ideas and contributing to the community. It's awesome to see you use that flange that now we make because of the ideas that you brought to the table. So, thanks.
yeah, that is really awesome. But yeah, really cool. A great project. And again, he has a YouTube video all about the process and the build. And I think he even shares some hacks in there about if you don't want to bend this entire thing, you could buy the pre-bent 90 off the shelf and get that, and it ends like right here somewhere. You get a coupling and add a vertical pipe to that, which is a good solution if you don't want to bend the pipes. So yeah, great project, and definitely check out his video and his YouTube channel. It's Axe Maniac, which I always think is a great channel name because his name is Axel and it's AKS, and then it's Mani and then Yak like kayak. That's a good, clever name
Yeah.
for YouTube channel. But yeah, really cool. Thanks so much, Axel, for posting again. Really appreciate it. And another great project. Next up is a flight simulator. And this was sent in through Instagram, Camper Beast One on Instagram. And this is a flight simulator that they've been working on. So they're almost finished, and I think it looks awesome. I love simulators, and we did a racing simulator on the channel, but I've always wanted to. When I was a kid, I wanted to get my pilot's license. So I've always had a fascination with flying. I really should make a flight simulator, especially because there's been so many great ones shared recently. A lot of inspiration to pull from. But as you can see, this one is really cool, and I like this one because, I mean, you're, like, fully encapsulated pretty much. You sit down in here, you've got these long armrests, got the keyboard, and you got the flight controls, and then you've got the 3, I mean, those look like TVs, like full-on TVs that you've got in there surrounding you, and,
Immersive,
yeah, you're
super immersive.
for sure. So I bet that's super cool to have all 3 of those TVs on. And yeah, really awesome frame. I mean, you can see this is a good technique for, even if you're doing a racing simulator. And I think he kind of separated the two, or kind of like the seating area and the controls and everything from the monitor stand. And basically, it looks like kind of a U shape kind of corral um, framework. See if we can see the outside of it. So, you've got the vertical here. It looks like 1 inch. Is that 1 inch MT? Looks like it, which is probably a good idea for those big TVs and the way he's got them mounted there. But it looks like 1 inch verticals, and then he's got pipes going up to the front, and then on the back side there, and then the same thing mirrored on the other side. And that attachment for the TV looks pretty smart. It looks like a piece of plywood, and then like the mount is drilled out, you just bolt through that piece of plywood into the mount. Great simulator to pull some inspiration from if you're looking to do something similar. A lot of connectors in there, 45-degree bracing throughout, which I think is a good idea when you've got a lot of weight on the frame, especially with these, because I think those are TVs. So like at least 32-inch TVs, which can get pretty big and heavy. And I think the way it's attached those was smart. So yeah, just a really great build. And yeah, we appreciate you posting that or sending it to us through email or Instagram, actually. Really cool to see. So thanks so much. Next up is a project from Paul, and this was shared in the Facebook community. And he used T clamps to make props for the Colony High School Titan Regiment Field Show, and it was titled Diamonds. And they placed first in the division last week and are competing in the state finals, which is awesome. Good luck in the state
All
finals.
right, go guys.
And they made maker pipe backdrops for these canvas kind of diamond, because their theme or the title was diamonds. They even have some cool light diamonds back there, which look
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
those are neat.
Yeah, and then they've got the kind of this vinyl that matches, and they needed a way to kind of prop them up, and so they used the maker pipe and conduit frame, looks like half inch, and it's just a really simple, put together frame with just horizontals on the ground, and T connectors that connect pipes front to back, and then they have kind of a triangle shape with T connectors that go up and then connect at the top with T connectors again. So it's all T's on these builds, and basically just made a bunch of those, and they can place them side by side, which is really cool.
Nice.
And yeah, they've got I like the people just kinda hiding back there. They've got other props and things back there,
Is that
which
a
is nice.
person?
I think so, yeah, there's people all just kinda chilling back there.
Okay,
I imagine maybe that's how they start. Maybe they run out from behind or something and come out, but
that's cool.
yeah, there you can see a close up of the T connectors with the shims to
Half
connect it with
inch.
half inch.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And I think this is a good example. I get this question a lot about how to achieve different angles,
mhm,
because if you think about the T connector mounted on a horizontal pipe, you can swivel it
mhm,
at any degree. Go back to that other, the one you just showed.
mhm.
Yeah. So, like, you can customize that angle and have it be whatever you want. Because we'll get requests for like a 60-degree angle connector or a one, well, we have a 135, but, a I don't know, pick your angle, right?
Mhm.
And this is a way to tackle that. Yeah, the pipes aren't in plane, but you can usually incorporate that into your build.
Right. And it is good, like you said, if you just pick whatever angle. It's good if you need to make something like this and don't really want to figure out the angle. You can just, put a couple T connectors on there and whatever the angle ends up being that you want it to while you're building it, you can just do that. You don't even have to figure out the angle at all.
Right.
You can just kind of build and angle it however to just connect it together. And what's really cool is, as you can see, they've got a trailer there. So I imagine if they're traveling for the competitions, then they're going to be moving this stuff around. So they made it to fold flat, and they said the front props can be folded flat. We used figure eight hose connectors as hinges, so the two faces of the props can fold over on itself. It makes transport a lot easier. Hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that because I that's a question we get a ton because people make things that are traveling, just like these backdrops, right? And they want easy put up, easy takedown. And I've found the connectors to be really good for that. You can loosen them just a quarter turn, take the pipe out, and we used to do our display all the time when we were doing shows, maker fairs. But little tips and tricks like that are really valuable. So we'd love to hear more about that one.
Yeah, for sure. But great build. It looks awesome, and again, good luck in the state competition, and congrats on first place in the CSBC division. So really cool. Thanks so much for posting that in the community. Next up is a build from Mark, and this is cool because he bought the desk kit, the simple pipe desk kit, and here, let's see, we'll pull it up here. It is this one. He bought this kit, but customized the dimensions instead of making the desk. He actually just customized the dimensions and made it more compact to make a plant stand that sits over top of the trash can.
Oh, nice.
So it's really cool to see kind of adapt that the pipe desk kit into this plant stand, because that's one thing. The kits include the connectors you need to build the frame, but if you don't know, you could just customize the dimensions. You could, whatever you want the pipes to be, you could customize that and kind of adapt the kits to whatever need it is that you have, which is what Mark did, which is really cool. And it's basically just consists of four 90-degree connectors at the top. Looks like he's got some kind of, I don't know if that's wood, or it kind of looks like that plastic material that we used at Saunders Machine Works.
Yep.
That stuff
Solid
was really
plastic
cool.
board.
I think what is it, like HPDE or something like that? I think it's
Yeah,
called
I think you're right.
high density polyethylene. I think,
Ethylene.
yeah, which is really cool material, especially if you get a whole sheet of it. But anyway, he's got the top secured with one hole straps, which is a great and simple method to secure flat surfaces. And then the bottom, he's kind of utilizing the desk aspect of it, where you're able to slide underneath, have your legs underneath the desk while you're working at it or whatever. Basically, utilizing that aspect of the frame to be able to have the trash can sit under there, and that's got 290 degrees in the back with a pipe from side to side, and then the pipes front to back with the T connectors. And this is just a really simple build, but really awesome. Again, that he was able to adapt it to his needs.
Yeah, great way to optimize your space.
Yeah, for sure. Really cool. So thanks so much, Mark, for posting this. Really awesome to see. Next up is a build from Lee, and this is a trolley for a Skadden cast and blast inflatable pontoon boat.
A what?
A Skadden cast and blast inflatable pontoon boat.
Wow.
hmm So the boat is very light but awkward to move by yourself. Couldn't find a good solution, so I found Maker Pipe and gave it a try. Designed it in 3 different ways, and we can see there's 3 different ways here. So basically, it's really clever because he did the axle method, which is basically you have a piece of conduit with bolts or all thread running all the way through it. He's got washers and a lock washer, which is a good idea. I don't think we mentioned that in the axle how-to video, but it is a good idea to put washers between the conduit and the bearing inside the wheel. Then on the outside, you just put more washers and then a nut to kind of cap it off. And then you can build off of that because it's 3/4 inch conduit, which is what he did. He added a T connector. As you can see, there's 2 of them with a pipe coming out of it. But then he's utilizing the motor mount on the back of the boat. And basically, the conduit, I think, sits inside of the flange for the motor mount, which is really awesome that it works like that. And here it is, said, kind of did a sketch here. So there's the motor mount, and you can see there's kind of a pipe or a tube coming out of the bottom of the motor mount that is, I don't know if it has the diameter, 2.5 inch.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So it goes inside of the
Mm-hmm.
conduit?
Yeah. So the
Oh, that's like a DIYer's dream to be able to put
mm-hmm.
something like that together. That's great.
Yeah, it's awesome that it worked out like that. That motor mount just happens to be the right diameter.
Yeah, you always look for things like that, and when it
Mm-hmm.
comes together, it's sweet.
Yeah, for sure. So he's got that sits inside the conduit, and here's the apparatus for the wheel. He said so. It's an 8 inch diameter wheel, and it's got 1 3/4 inch wide axle bolts, and then the wheels have 3 8x16 ball bearings. Okay, that's a good way to do it. If you have the threaded pipe insert on one side, actually, I don't think did we do the all thread? No, because we just shimmed it. We've never made an axle where we actually use the threaded pipe inserts. So this is a little bit different method, but a good option, especially if you're doing something really wide and you can't find a piece of all thread this long, um, then a bolt method, one bolt on each side is a good way to do it. And the way he just did that here with this bolt going through the threaded pipe insert, I believe. And okay, I see.
Yeah,
So
I
it comes
see.
from this side and goes into the threaded pipe insert through the wheel from the outside.
Huh.
Huh. Yeah, that is a different way that we haven't really seen before, but a good way to do kind of an independent, axle on each side. And I think here's another option where if you don't have the whole apparatus of the motor mount attached and you just have those like kind of flanges there for the motor mount, then you can do the conduit through those. And I think how are they secured there? Maybe there's like a clamp or something built into those motor mounts, and it's able to hold the conduit firm there.
It's tough to say, but these diagrams are super helpful.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for going through the trouble to share this.
yeah, for sure. Really,
I
really
think it'll
great.
inspire, even if they're not making a kayak cart or
Mhm.
a um, inflatable boat cart.
Mhm.
I mean, these are still neat techniques to understand.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So yeah, really cool. Glad it's working out for you, and looks like a simple but great solution. And as you can imagine, you can just pick up the opposite side of the boat and then just kind of steer it and move it around and make it a lot easier to roll around. So that's great. Thanks so much for posting this, Lee. Really appreciate you sharing it. Next up is not really a build. I think Tom has done some builds before, but he just saw the bending video from this past weekend. So if you didn't see, we did a incremental bending kind of how-to video where you can make arches and circles and things. And he shared a solution from a few years ago where he bent arches for a project he was working on with conduit.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, looks really awesome. I mean, it's got, the wooden ribs all the way around, and then the conduit looks like attaches to the flat side of the ribs and then goes through this middle beam.
Holy cow, that's like a vaulted ceiling in a
Yeah.
home.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, really cool. And what was really awesome about this is he shared how he did it, and he got spools, empty like yarn spools or something, drilled those into a piece of wood, and which is a great solution if you're just doing like one project or you have one current idea and you got to make a bunch of these. It might be worth just, instead of getting a bender, just, doing something like this where I've seen people use screws drilled into plywood, but this is really, really clever. It's just wooden spools drilled in and secured to this wood here. And then as you can see, the top of the wood kind of holds tight in there. And then you just kind of bend and just keep bending. And then it'll just wrap around the spools as you go around and create the arch. So that's that's really cool. Thanks so much for sharing this, Tom. Really cool to see, and that archway kind of roof
That's
structure
neat.
is really awesome. All right, next up is a project from Jacob, and you might remember Jacob. Dave did an interview with him a few months back. He's actually an electrician by trade, which is always awesome to see. And he built this really sweet roof rack for his Baja Bug a while back, and he talked about it on the channel. And it's full of awesome things like the mounts for the rack and everything. But he posted recently an update, and let's see what exactly changed. I made a few changes to the roof rack. The first picture is the original design that was seen in the interview. The light bar mounted was a cheapy one that stopped working, so I bent a new lower bar and got some HID lights instead. So I guess that's here. You can see the pipe. I guess before it just kind of like looped around. This bottom pipe did, but he added a new one. It kind of goes down and has a nice bend in it, and then goes around and has these HID lights attached. I imagine those lights probably they're like universal lights probably, so they have a clamp on the bottom. Got those clamped to the pipe, which is a great solution. Also, he said, also don't let anyone tell you that EMT isn't strong enough to hold weight. I have one of our kayaks sitting on top in another picture, and the rack is plenty strong to hold it while driving, which
I
is
love
great.
that.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's always great, especially coming from a electrician by trade too.
Right.
They work with the material all the time, so they would know. So that's really cool. Lastly, I was finally able to get around to make an actual platform for the roof rack and use it to carry and store things. So here it's kind of open. You can see a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap between the sections. Um, you can see it even there. It's kind of open. So since then, oh sweet,
That's so cool.
there's the kayak attached. Oh, that's so awesome. Um,
Jacob is killing it.
yeah,
That is such a neat photo.
yeah.
What a great setup he's got.
I know, so cool. And and you can see it's open between the bars there. But what he's done is he's created this platform using this is a great idea. This is that mesh, like you can buy these mesh panels. I imagine they're not fun to cut, but you can buy them in different sizes. And he's basically got that on top of the frame, and then the pipe or then the screw, self-tapping screw goes through this mesh and just goes through one of the holes in the mesh screen and then drills into the conduit, which is really awesome and I think a great solution, especially if you're doing like a garden enclosure and you need some like really small holes in the material on the outside, because that is kind of a worry if you're making an enclosure to keep out animals. Some of those chicken wires and different solutions kind of have larger holes that allow birds and things to get inside still, but this is like the ultimate, really small hole mesh material and a great solution I think for attaching to a conduit frame.
Expanded metal.
Expanded metal.
Expanded metal is that's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, expanded metal is a great solution, and the way he's attached it is a good idea as well with the self-tapping screws into the conduit.
Nice. Thanks, Jacob, for the update.
Yeah, for
Enjoyed
sure.
talking with you, and what a great project, and your car's sweet. I love the Baja Bug, especially with the kayak on top.
Yeah. Yeah, it truly does look really awesome, as you can see there. But that is all the projects we have for you this week. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Again, thanks for 10,000 subscribers. We appreciate it. Also, don't forget our Black Friday sale this week. You can find out more about it in the description. There's a link that you can sign up to know when the sale goes live and get the discount codes emailed to you. But thanks everybody for hanging out with us and watching. We appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. Hope everybody has a good week and a happy Thanksgiving as well. Almost
Happy
forgot.
Thanksgiving. Have a good week.